Albert sir, shall we start, sir? Okay.
Respected Reverend Father Principal, respected Chief Guest, respected Dr. Joseph Albert, former head of the Department of English and Deputy Principal, respected Deputy Principal, respected head of the department, respected coordinator, respected professors, and my dear student friends. A very pleasant good morning to one and all present here. I heartily welcome you all to this online portal for the inauguration of SYPAW, Society of Young Poets and Writers, the Literary Association of the Department of English. AMDG, motto of the Society of Jesus, is a Latin acronym for Ad Majorem Dei Gloriam, which means for the greater glory of God. It teaches that if we are true to our best selves, if we, as the poet Gerard Manley Hopkins writes, act in God's eye, what in God's eye we are, then we shine. Those who see us at our best see God's glory. St. Xavier's College has been marching on, creating a glorious history since 1923. The college was recognized as a college with potential for excellence by UGC in 2004, and for the second time in 2010. The college was re-accredited at A++ grade with a CGPA of 3.66 out of 4 in 2019. The selfless sacrifice of the founders, the industry, perseverance, and determination of the management, staff, and students, guided by the Ignatian spirit of Marges, has made this possible.
In our journey nearing the centenary milestone, the department has traversed hand in hand with the college. The Department of English was established in 1923. BA English was started in 1968 and MA English in 2006. SYPAW, the department's literary association, offers a wonderful platform for the students to hone their myriad talents and enhance their literary, social, and communicative skills. It creates a conducive environment together with the curriculum to mold students into inspiring leaders for the future. Zephyr is an annually published students' magazine to showcase their creative talents.
With new dreams, fresh vigor, and a lot of events planned, we step into this academic year 2021-22, and we seek the never-failing guidance of God Almighty to be with us in this opportune moment. I request you all to bow down in silence for the invocation.
With the Almighty's guidance, we step onward. I now call Ms. Lucita Christie to welcome the gathering.
Worship your holy Sing like never before. All my soul worship your holy name. Jesus, I will worship your holy name. Worship your holy name.
Thank you for invoking God's presence with us. This is Lucida Christie. I am here to welcome you all. A long-awaited, beautiful occasion. Here it is. With immense pleasure, I welcome you all to this momentous occasion of the inaugural ceremony of SYPAW, Society of Young Poets and Writers. We share this august form today to reopen the mind blocks and unlock the invisible locks by keeping the flame of education ignited. SYPAW, the Literary Association of the Department of English, aims at displaying the abundant talent of the students. It organizes literary competitions, workshops, and seminars so that the fervor of the student get kindled and writers emerge from the Department of English. The curriculum of English helps us understand the complex dynamics of literary genres and makes us to understand the process of communicating and interpreting human experience through literary representation. Our department does not just mold us with academic qualifications, but also with personal qualities like leadership and teamwork, determination and flexibility, confidence and self-belief, respect and coordination. We at St. Xavier's are honored to have the right scaffolding to build our future best. Our principal, Reverend Dr. S. Mariadas, is a personality who inspires us with his action and integrity. With his confident and compassionate guidance, he earnestly endeavors to help students in realizing their dreams and make them citizens of the world. I am extremely privileged to welcome our respected principal, Reverend Dr. S. Mariadas, to this inaugural ceremony. Welcome you, Father. We are fortunate to have with us today our chief guest, Dr. K. Thanikachalam, retired Head and Associate Professor of English, Adityanar College of Arts and Science, Trichandur. He is an honored teacher and a renowned orator with a vast area of expertise and experience. His PhD dissertation is titled Hero as Artist, a study of William Saroyan's selected plays. His area of specialization is American literature. He has served as an external examiner, PhD research guide, board member, Senate member, governing board member, member of the Inspection Commission, MS University, editor of journals. He has been a dedicated professor, rendering his service to the student community for decades. He is the honored teacher whose students are today teaching across the world, ardently emulating his values and methods to train and groom future generations. I take immense pleasure in welcoming our respected Dr. Thanikachalam on behalf of the college, staff, and students of the department. Once again, I welcome you, sir. We are honored to welcome our respected Dr. Joseph Albert, former head of the Department of English and Deputy Principal, retired. Dr. Joseph Albert has always been the strong source of strength and support in our every endeavor. I am immensely happy to welcome you, sir. We are honored to welcome our respected Deputy Principal, Dr. Xavier Innocent. Welcome you, sir. The students from the Department of English have a great opportunity to learn from some great minds. They are not just teachers, but counselors, well-wishers, and guides. This event would not have been possible without their vision and guidance. I'm extremely happy to welcome our respected head of the department, Mr. Twin Anthony Edward, respected coordinator, Dr. S. Veera Lakshmi, and all our professors. Last but not the least, I would like to welcome all my student friends. Your tremendous cooperation, coordination, and support is what is going to take every endeavor on. Welcome you, my dear friends. A special note on welcome To all the freshers, college life will give you much more than just a degree. Ready for all the adventure. Hope you have a wonderful journey with St. Xavier's. Once again, I welcome you all. May the excitement of today enthuse us. May this enchantment surround us, and may the fellowship of that we share help us learn and grow and create smiling moments and happy memories. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lucita. Keeping in the line with the tradition of SYPAW, some students share their experiences and expectations every academic year. I now call Ms. Rajeshwari from First BA English to share her expectations.
Good morning, everyone. Going to college is a big step in the life of everyone. This transition from school to college can be extremely challenging. This is my first time studying in a coeducational institution. My first expectation is that I feel safe and comfortable in the college. I strongly believe that my college life is going to provide a strong platform for me to groom my skills. I expect that I get opportunity to learn various things that I may have never been exposed to, and that in turn would expand my horizon. I strongly believe that I will get more choices in my career with the help of a supportive team of staff and students. Hope the staff will help me in identifying my inner strength, unknown talents, and help me to make a right path in my life. I came to know that apart from academic, this college also provides co-curricular activities in the best way, so that each and everyone can show and develop their individuality. College is not about taking some classes to earn a degree to get a good job. It's a journey which gives us experience to face a society without fear, move and manage our problems on our own, good memories, life education, and many more. I believe to a great extent that more than the college degree, it's our knowledge that counts. I expect that I get ready for the society and life outside from what I learned here. I thank you all for the opportunity. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rajeshwari. Now I invite Mr. Sirochel Ray from 3rd BA English to share his experiences.
Good morning, everyone. I never imagined that after my schooling, I will be joining college in Tamil Nadu. That too in the same college as from where my father did his BSc and would stay in the same block and hostel as my first seat as I was an other state student. So I thought not to waste an academic year and joined St. Xavier's College, which was said to be the best college in southern part of Tamil Nadu. All this happened without any prior plan, and I don't know whether it's a coincidence or destiny, but after these 2 years, I realized that I'm blessed to have joined this institution. As having completed my schooling from Uttar Pradesh, I had a hard time to adjust everywhere, from being a South Indian and living in North India to returning back to homeland. But I never thought that I would get so comfortable here and adjust this quickly. From the day since I joined, I had very supportive staff who gave me immense courage and support to cope up. As I joined the college sessions months after it began, they helped me to cover up the pending syllabus and helped me a lot with teaching me the things that I missed. After a few weeks of joining the college, I got into the badminton team of a college. By then, I never knew it would become my second family. The staff, badminton team, and hostel helped me a lot to adjust and made me feel like I'm home. The environment of a college itself is so soothing. The greenery and the old British architecture alone makes it look majestic, and church in between where students say their prayer and wishes. Everything helped me a lot to get along. The staffs were very friendly and caring, and I was always amazed by their dedication and kindness, as they were always ready to help me out. I would always rush to staff whenever I had queries, but they never hesitated to help me, nor they turned me down. They were always kind and soft-spoken, even when I was so annoying. Whenever I scored less than I expected, I asked the staff what were my faults, where did I lose marks, and places where there's scope for improvement. And every single time they joyfully guided me, and I'm grateful to them. Even the fathers of the college are so friendly and encouraging. For instance, principal father sometimes joins me during badminton practice. So during our earlier meeting, he forgot me twice, but he would make sure that I don't feel embarrassed. So as soon as I say my name, he with a laugh would say, "Yeah, I remember," and would talk to me like a friend does and would never make me feel awkward. This shows the concern he has for every single student. Being good at academics is a good thing, but in college, we should also explore other extracurricular activities, participate in programs, competition, as many as we can, as it is important for the overall development and to invoke the spirit of healthy competitiveness. We must try to indulge ourselves in at least one sport, as it keeps us physically fit, and as they say, a healthy mind resides in a healthy body. Being in college, we can have fun and enjoy being here, but there's a thin line between things that are okay and things which are not acceptable. There's a quote in Hindi where it is said that there's a huge difference between being naughty and misbehaving. Study at your own pace, revise as much as you can, and discuss what you studied among your friends, because teaching helps us retain 80% of the information you teach someone, and it helped me a lot personally. These are my personal experience that played a major role in building me up as a person. I invite the juniors to feel the experience that I did, and I'm once again grateful to the staff and college. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sirochel. We have a well-sketched plan of SYPAW for this academic year. I now invite Ms. Shamilah, Secretary of SYPAW, to present the plan.
Respected Reverend Father Principal, respected Dr. Joseph Albert, former head of the department and deputy principal, honorable chief guest, respected head of the department, respected coordinator, respected professors, and my dear student friends, a very good morning to all of you. It is an absolute honor and delight to present the plan of activities that the Literary Association of our college, SYPAW, has planned to hold this academic year. Since its inception, SYPAW has been conducting a great number of programs, departmental activities, lectures, and competitions to explore new vistas of English language and literature, and this year is no exception. Our department has various endowments constituted in honor of the retired members of our faculty. There are 3 endowments in honor of Reverend Dr. V. Gilbert Camillus S.J., former principal of our college, Dr. V.S. Joseph Albert, and Dr. V. John, former heads of our department, for conducting lectures. These endowment lectures are conducted in an aim to celebrate the college's extraordinary literary life by inviting distinguished scholars to share and discuss their experiences, knowledge, and perspectives on various aspects of literature for the benefit of our students and faculty. There is another endowment in honor of Dr. John Peter Joseph for conducting literary competitions ranging from poetry and essay writing to extemporary and spoken word poetry. For the academic year 2021-2022, SYPAW has planned on conducting 2 endowment programs across September and October, and 2 others during the even semester. In the month of November, we have proposed to conduct Olympus, an intercollegiate literary competition through the online mode. During the even semester, we have scheduled a workshop on theater and drama, immediately after which a live stage performance of a drama will be held. In the month of February, we have plans to hold a student seminar in order to introduce the students to the skill of research and presentation. The annual literary department magazine Zephyr, will be published in the end of this academic year to showcase the creativity of our students. Founded on the love of literature, SYPAW always strives to do something unique, and the previous years in the history of our department stand as a testimony to that. Each year, we embark on a mission to better ourselves. And this year too, SYPAW is proud to add another feather in its cap. Driven by a deep commitment to proud to present a first of its kind initiative, a literary blog titled Meraki, which functions as a virtual literary magazine, or in colloquial terms, a blog page that aims to bring to spotlight the creative zeal and spirit of our students and etch them in the virtual walls of our college. title Naraki in itself stands as an encapsulation of the blog's purpose, which calls for works of art made with one's soul, creativity, and love. We in SYPAW look forward to your creative contributions to the blog. Finally, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all of you for all the contributions you have made and for what you will be doing for SYPAW as we begin another year of inspiring hearts through art. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shamilah. I now call Ms. Andrea Snowling from First BA English to share her expectations.
Good morning, Reverend Father Principal, respected Chief Guest, respected Head of the Department, respected teachers, and my dear friends. I am over the moon to share my experiences of the past 2 years in our college. When I entered our college, I was moved by the natural environment present here. Visiting the church in our college gave me strength to face each day of college life. Library is the place to get wealth of knowledge, and I found our library was a suitable place to learn and study many things. Playing basketball and attending NSS camps refreshed me and strengthened me all around. Grace and mercy meetings have strengthened me spiritually. My life in the Department of English started with the bridge course. It helped me improve my communicative skills. Our professors were very friendly and encouraging. They had never said no for any helps. As a representative, I had the opportunity to relate with teachers and students. Involvement of our seniors in department mass inspired me. Those 2 years helped me develop leadership qualities within me. Those days taught me how to relate with parents, teachers, and students. Our department professors trained me to improve my stage performance. I was taught to learn how to interpret and analyze a poem. I could experience the old theater in the 21st century with the help of Olympus. I enjoyed the opportunity to witness the literary performance of students from various colleges during Olympus. Language lab helped us develop our language and listening skills. Tutor ward classes gave us much needed personal and academic guidance. At last, I am proud to belong to the Department of English in our college. And these are some of my experiences of the college, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Jeffrin. I now call Ms. Nancy Elvira from First MA English to share her expectations.
Greetings to one and all present. I feel extremely overwhelmed and honored to present my expectations before you. The largest journey begins with a single step. So goes a Chinese proverb. I'm Nancy, and my journey in this institution has just started. To begin with, I must confess here that I'm not a great believer in planning the future. I often say to myself the biblical quote, "Take no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things itself." This does not mean I'm pessimistic and negligent. I'm rather pragmatic enough to accomplish what lies ahead of me. I intend to complete this course in this institution with flying colors to lay a solid foundation for the future. I'm also inclined to explore various options as my days in this illustrious institution progress. My expectation concerning this institution is relatively simple. I earnestly hope it will improve me to hone my innate talents with the help of my teachers. As and when required, I hope they will also guide me. I believe this institution will galvanize me by offering opportunities to grow and strengthen myself by fostering a positive attitude and rational ethics. On an end note, I wish to thank the professors and the department head for this amazing chance. You will have my eternal appreciation. Now, I kindly request the principal, chief guest, and all others present here to accept my sincere thanks for the time you took to listen to me on this occasion.
Thank you, Ms. Nancy. I now call Ms. Andrea Snowling from First BA English to share her expectations.
Greetings to respected principal, deputy principal, head of the department, professors, and my fellow students. It is a privilege to be part of St. Saviour's, and I'm humbled further by being given the honor of addressing this gathering. St. Saviour's College is distinguished for its academic excellence, but it's also known for providing space for personality development. This is achieved through co-curricular and extracurricular activities, which help enhance holistic growth and creative expression. For one, a literary club will encourage students to present and exchange poems, stories, and essays that they've written. Debates and public speaking can be held to create confident and persuasive speakers. Those preparing for UPSCs can benefit from mock parliaments, which will help them become aware of the various social issues faced by the country. It aids in convergent thinking through having to present solutions to the concerns raised. For expressing what cannot be communicated through words, visual and performative arts like music, dance, filmmaking, and photography can be provided. Bringing abstract ideas to reality utilizes divergent thinking, which boosts intellectual strength. In the recent years, discussions about deforestation and global warming have surged. With the steady increase in the concern over the environment, Eco Club can serve as the students' contribution for solving this issue. Co-curricular and extracurricular activities can therefore widen horizons and lead to self-discovery. It is a form of recreation and entertainment, but also serves an improvement of life skills. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Andrea. I now invite Ms. Aishwarya from 3rd BA English to share her experiences.
A pleasant good morning to one and all present here. I'm extremely happy to share my experience as a student in this college. A famous quote goes thus: "The purpose of life is to live it, to taste the experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear and for newer and richer experience." In this way, I feel extremely glad to share my new and rich experiences with you. First of all, one of the most interesting stages in life that gives us an opportunity to explore is the college phase. College life is a perfect blend of joys and sorrows. I stepped into this college with as many expectations just as you. I met different people, I interacted with them, I learned with their cultures and grew as a person. I understood how to talk with different people, how to pursue their actions,
as helping myself with important life skills. I got an opportunity to learn from some great research minds, both online and offline. The faculty members of this college are not just teachers, but counselors, well-wishers, and guides. Our department paves way for the development of an individual, not only in academics, but also in extracurricular activities. A good training is given before getting onto the stage every time. I had shed stage fear and I have become bold because of their guidance. Participation in inter-college competitions has made me explore new things. As a student, I try to make the utmost use of our college facilities, such as a well-set-up library, the beautifully built chapel, well-equipped labs, typewriting classes, and whatnot. To put in a single sentence, college is the only place where we create a bigger and greater foundation for our college by finding ourselves. I'm emotionally connected to this college and the people over here. I'm thankfully for everything the department has instilled in me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Aishwarya. I now call Ms. Priya from 3rd BA English to share her experiences.
A very good morning to all. I'm really excited to share my experiences in St. Xavier's College. I consider my time in St. Xavier's as the most valuable experience in my life. In my first year, I was elected the representative of the class. It really helped me to enhance my leadership skills. I gained confidence and was pushed into believing in my strength. I was also a member of the Fine Arts Committee that helped me improve my dancing skills. I would say that I'm indebted to the college and particularly the English department because they have provided me with rich subject knowledge and have helped me choose a direction to travel in life. The teachers have been extremely kind and supportive throughout the learning phase. The department has been given me numerous opportunities to widen my horizon and expand my knowledge by making me actively participate in various events. These events allowed me to socialize with new people and showcase my talent to everyone, which in turn built my confidence. I wish that all my juniors explore and make use of the various opportunities available here. I'm extremely thankful to the management and SYPAW for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Priya. I now invite Ms. Satya from 3rd BA English to share her experiences.
Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to be here in front of you all virtually. I entered St. Xavier's College in 2019. The very first day, I was attracted by a college's ambience. My eyes were fixed on the marvelous architecture of a college church. We were taken on a library tour. I was astonished by the bookstock over there. Father Santiago Library soon became one of my favorite places in our college. The elective choosing classes got us exposed to different subjects of interest, and we got many friends from other departments too. According to Boris Pasternak, a Russian poet, literature is the art of discovering something about ordinary people and saying with ordinary words something extraordinary. In our department of English, we are trained to understand the author, his feelings, exploring his background. We do interpret, criticize, prioritize, and analyze the text. I got a new vision that literature is not just only for reading, it is for feeling what the author felt. Each little piece is a conductor of emotions, pain, and happiness. Our SYPAW set the student explorers across the landscape of literature. Our teachers are friendly and as well as strict in the matter of studies. They mold us with their experience. We are blessed to be here. I'm sure that our future will be as green as a beautiful campus. I hope that I have shared what I did in the past 2 years in St. Xavier's College. Thank you for listening to my experience. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ms. Satya. We are deeply honored and immensely pleased to have Professor Dr. Thanikachalam, retired head of the Department of English, Arithanaar College, Tiruchendur, as our chief guest. He extends his horizons to accommodate the needs of the students and accompany them along their social journey through education. He is an amalgamation of a teacher and a guide. Some professors from our own department are students of this great teacher. With great respect, I now invite respected Professor Dr. Tanikachalan to address the gathering.
Respected principal, respected head of the department, and respected coordinator, and all the members of the Society of Young Poets and Writers. At the outset, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share some of my views on literature and human values. I've been listening to you for quite some time, and what I understand is that this society.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Hello?
Sir, we couldn't see your face, sir. I think you have to switch on the video.
The video is on, Joachim. Video is on.
1 minute, sir, 1 minute.
My video is on.
Sir, actually, we couldn't see your face, sir. Just 1 minute, sir. Let's ensure that.
Am I audible, Joachim?
You are audible, sir. Just 1 minute, sir. Let's check what happens here. Sir, actually, your name is getting displayed, but your video is not on, sir.
Wait, no.
Just.
Is it okay? Is it okay, Joachim?
Just wait, sir. So far, we haven't. Sir,
Joachim, it says Anto Joy's network bandwidth is low.
Okay, just 1 minute, sir. 1 minute, sir.
A box came, and and on top of the box, it reads Anto Joy's network bandwidth is low.
Sir, wait a minute, sir. We'll change the network then. 1 minute, sir. 1 minute. Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, you please continue. By that time, we'll ensure that video is on.
Okay, okay, it's all right.
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir. Sorry for the interruption.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Let me continue from where I left.
Yes.
The twin objectives of the Society of Young Poets and Writers, I presume, should be one is to develop communication skills, especially with reference to reading and writing, because you are talking about creation of young poets and writers. So the focus would be on the writing skill. And if somebody has to write, he has to read. Unless you are a voracious reader, you will not be an effective writer. Any writer, for that matter, is a voracious reader. That's very, very important. So I think through this forum of SYPAW, you are focusing on your reading and writing skills. That doesn't mean you are ignoring the speaking and listening skills, but your emphasis will be more on the reading and the writing skills. Now, keeping this in mind, I thought I could talk about these two objectives. And I listened to all the speakers, student speakers, who shared their expectations and who came out with their experiences and all that. And all of you spoke very eloquently, and you have all prepared speeches, and delivery was really excellent. What struck me listening to you was that the students of BA and ME, because the twin objective of the Young Poets and Writers Forum is to develop your communication skills and also develop human values. By the way, these two are the objectives of BA or MA English Literature course also. What is an objective of BA English Literature course? What is the objective of an MA English Literature course? The two objectives. One is developing communication skills. The other one is inculcating human values. Okay. So, keeping that in mind, I would advise you. I just thought of it all of a sudden. I would advise you to prepare for ELTS. See, if at all any college in this part of southern Tamil Nadu could prepare their students for ELTS, it could only be Xavier's College. Okay, so with its reputation and with a wonderful department, it could only be Xavier's College. What is IELTS? IELTS is International English Language Testing System. What is the advantage of preparing for IELTS? IELTS has 4 segments, and each segment takes around 60 minutes. Okay, so listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And only problem with the IELTS examination is that the fee is 14,000 rupees. It's a bit expensive. Okay. But the eligibility for appearing for IELTS is just 16 years and above. And every month you have 4 fixed dates. Every month you can take up the test. Every month you have 4 fixed dates. And the test centers are Chennai, Madurai, Trichy, Coimbatore, and Trivandrum. Okay. And the registration, online registration is there. There are 48 fixed dates in a year. You can choose any date. And you can make as many attempts as possible. Of course, because the fee is 14,000, maybe you might find it difficult to appear many times. But I would advise third BA English Literature students and second MA English Literature students can go for the first attempt. See, on a 9-point scale, you have to score at least 7.5. Okay, so on a 9-point scale, the dream score is 8.5. But if you score 7.5, you are eligible to study in any foreign university. Or you are eligible to work in 140 countries. See, IELTS score is accepted in nearly 140 countries. Okay. The exam pattern is very, very simple. You have a listening test for 30 minutes. And in the listening test, you have 4 recorded monologues and conversations, under which there will be 40 questions. And under the second segment, reading, it is for 60 minutes. You will have 3 long reading passages with 40 questions. And these passages will be generally taken from books, journals, and newspapers. And the third segment is writing, again for 60 minutes. You will be given a writing task of 150 words. Okay, so this will be very, very useful for this forum of young poets and writers. And there are 2 types of questions. One is letter writing. The other one is a short essay of 250 words. A letter writing which runs 250 words and a short essay of 250 words. This is for 60 minutes. And the 4th module is speaking, which is for 15 minutes. You will have a face-to-face interview. And in that face-to-face interview, it's one-to-one between a teacher and the student. So there will be 3 types of questions: short questions, oration on a familiar topic, and a structured discussion followed by this oration. So these are the 3 types of questions that you have under speaking. So the format of the test is simple. The whole test runs to 2 hours and 45 minutes. Okay. So listening, writing, and reading, you can take up the test in one sitting, or you should take up the test in one sitting. But the speaking module can be taken separately. Speaking module is within 7 days before or after the test date. Okay. And you can arrange for the speaking module at your test center at your convenience. But generally people take it in the same afternoon or within 3 days. So this is all about the IELTS test. Now, what is the advantage? Even if you will definitely get through, there is no doubt about it. Even if you do not get through, you don't lose anything, because you would have developed your communication skills. So that is the biggest advantage of preparing for IELTS examination. And they have a 9-point scale. In this 9-point scale, if you score 7.5, you are eligible to study or work in any of these 140 countries wherein this IELTS test is accepted. Okay. Now I'll just give you some samples from the speaking test. There are actually 10 questions asked, because there are 3 types of questions. The first one is the WH questions. 10 types of questions asked. The first question begins with, what is your name? How do you spell it? Do you have your proof of identification? May I see it? Let us talk about where you live. Can you describe your neighborhood? What is an advantage of living there? What is a disadvantage of living there? Let us talk about jobs. What kind of job do you have? Let us talk about free time. What is one activity you enjoy doing in your free time? So these are the types of questions that will be generally asked under the speaking module. Okay. So it does not test your general knowledge. You will have the answers with you. Only thing is, you should, without committing grammatical mistakes, you should be able to give them the answers. Okay. So this is all about the IELTS test. As I said earlier, after your MA, MPhil or PhD, if you get into a self-financing college in India, you almost become a bonded laborer. So that is what is happening in India today. Okay. So the teachers working in self-financing colleges are generally sophisticated bonded laborers. That's what we actually call them. But is the situation going to change? There is a remote possibility, because the government is not for the government funded system of education. Okay. So in this scenario, after working hard for 3 years for your BA and for 2 years for your MA, if you could go abroad for your further studies. Now all of you know about Gayatri Spivak, a Bengali, coming from an ordinary Bengali Brahmin family. Gayatri Spivak, after completing her graduation from Calcutta, she went to Cornell University in 1961 under life mortgage. What does it mean? With borrowed money. Coming from an ordinary family, she took a huge risk, and she went to, we are not talking about 2001, we are talking about the 1960s. So she joined Cornell University in 1961, and that's where she did her MA. And you know, her reputation with deconstruction and Derrida and all that. Okay, so if Gayatri Spivak from Bengal can do that, why not you is the question. Okay, So to develop your communication skills through this club, I don't know about the number of clubs that your college has. Maybe there is a different club which actually talks about IELTS and all that. If it is there, it's okay. Supposing it is not there, I would request the organizers of the Society of Young Poets and Writers to organize programs so that the true students can get trained in LSRW skills with specific reference to IELTS. Okay, this is my, I would say this is my humble request to you. And along with that, if you want to take along with whatever is that is being done in your college, if you want to have some extra guidance and all that, extra training and all that, you can go for online programs in British Council, Chennai. British Council, Chennai offers 3-day programs on IELTS, but it's a bit expensive. Doesn't matter if you can afford, you can also go for that. Now, BA, after your BA, you go for your MA to some of the foreign universities with scholarship by getting a score of 7.5 in IELTS. Or after your MA, you go for your research to some foreign universities. Okay, so this is if this is not done, if you are not able to do this, you would have developed your communication skills very effectively. Okay, this is one. Now, how much of work you have to put in to succeed in IELTS? How much of work you have to put in? You have to put in really a terrible amount of work. You have to concentrate and focus on listening, speaking, reading, and writing every day. Okay, so when do we begin? You begin immediately. You start your preparation immediately. We have talked about it today. If you know it already, fine. If you do not know it, you begin immediately. And if you go to this website, www.ielts.org, you will get all the details. Okay, so I would sincerely say for last year alone, I just checked. Last year alone, nearly how many students? Somewhere around 50 lakh students have taken this examination. See, so many students are taking up this examination. Okay, so you have a wonderful opportunity. You don't need to confine yourself to India. You don't need to confine yourself to working in self-financing colleges. Okay, so make use of this opportunity that is being provided by your college through this forum of Society of Young Poets and Writers, and develop your communication skills by taking up this IELTS test also. Second thing, how hard you must work. That's the most important thing. Along with your studies, you have to do this. So how hard you have to work? You have to struggle. You have to struggle quite a lot. Struggle is the essence of life. Okay, now you would have read, postgraduate students most probably would have read Ralph Waldo Emerson's American Scholar, which is otherwise called the Intellectual Declaration of Independence. And that's this was a presentation by Emerson in the year 1836, 60 years after the American Declaration of Independence. America became an independent country in 1776, 60 years is 1836. Yeah, 1836. Emerson talks about this essay called the American Scholar. And one sentence which impressed me very much in this American Scholar was, I quote, "The principle which works behind nature is the same principle which works behind man." The principle which works behind nature is the same principle which works behind man. So what is the principle which works behind nature? Is there peace or tranquility in nature? There is no peace or tranquility in nature. Every object of nature has to struggle to survive. Every object of nature has to struggle to survive. This is the principle behind nature, which means this will be the principle behind the human life also. That there is no peace or tranquility in human life. It is only an illusion. Every second of your life, you have to struggle. I struggle to make use of this technology. you struggle to listen to the lectures of teachers through this technology. See, you in the classroom where you sit, you struggle to listen to the lecture given by the teacher. You struggle to keep yourself awake. Every second of your life, you keep on struggling. This is the fact of life. This is the essence of life. Let me give you just two examples. One from the plant kingdom and another from the animal kingdom. Animal kingdom, for example, how does a chick come out of the egg? See, when the right time comes, the chick which is inside the egg has to break open the shell, which is its mother, because the shell has been protecting the chick for so long. So the chick which is inside should break open the cell, and it has to come out to become a chicken. Supposing the chick which is inside thinks, the shell was my mother, it has been protecting me for so long. How do I break it? Okay, if it thinks like that, it will become a rotten egg. The chick, which means the chick will die inside. Same is the case with the plant kingdom also. You sow a seed. How does it grow into a plant? When the right time comes, the seed which is inside to sprout and become a plant, it has to break open the earth. Earth is its mother. Now, supposing the seed which is inside, it thinks, how can I break open my own mother? What will happen? It will become a rotten seed. So whether it is a plant kingdom or the animal kingdom, what is the fact of life? What is the essence? Struggle is the essence. So struggle is the principle behind the nature. So struggle is the principle behind the human life also. Okay. Now, presuming that we have to constantly struggle in our life, every second of our life, we get into conflicts while we struggle. Every second of our life, there is a kind of a conflict which goes on in our minds. In literature, we talk about the concept of victimization. In literature, we talk about the internal conflicts and external conflicts. Okay. Now, man becomes a victim of God. Man becomes a victim of nature. Man becomes a victim of society. Man becomes a victim of another man. Okay. Now, what should man do? Man should keep on struggling. Man becoming a victim of God, when you talk about the Greek tragedies, Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides, especially when you read the play Oedipus by Sophocles, Oedipus from Corinthia, he goes to the Delphic oracle. I'll just give you one example. He goes to the Delphic oracle and he raises an yes or no type question to the Delphic oracle. Is the king of Corinthia and the queen of Corinthia my father and mother? Now, Delphic oracle should have answered, because this is an yes or no type question, and as you know, the answer should begin with a yes or no. Delphic oracle, in Tamil we can call it Asariri. The Delphic oracle, instead of giving an yes or no, the Delphic oracle says, you have been born with, you have an accursed birth. Your birth is cursed. You will kill your father and marry your mother. Okay. Now, Oedipus is shocked. So he decides, or he presumes, that the king of Corinthia and the queen of Corinthia are his own father and mother. And so he goes to the neighboring kingdom called the Thebes, where the king is Laius and the queen is Jocasta. Laius is an old man. On the way to the kingdom of Thebes, he meets an old man on the chariot. There is a quarrel between these two. So inadvertently, Oedipus kills this old man, who happens to be the king of Thebes and who is also his father, which of course Oedipus does not know. Okay, and then he goes into this country, and there is a sphinx sitting on top of a mountain, and that is the entry gate to the kingdom of Thebes. So Oedipus has to answer the question raised by the Thebes. Nobody in the kingdom of Thebes is able to answer the question of the Sphinx, but Oedipus answers the question by giving the answer man. The question is not important. He gives the answer man, the Sphinx falls down and dies, and Oedipus gets inside. All the people are happy. they immediately make him the king. King needs a queen. He marries Jocasta. And when he comes to know after some time, when he comes to know through the blind philosopher Tiresias that he has killed his own father and married his own mother with the brooch of his mother, he blinds his own eyes and goes for repentance. See, man has to constantly struggle. Oedipus has to constantly struggle. So Greek literature, especially with reference to tragedies, man has to constantly struggle against God. Man constantly struggle against nature. Nature's fury you would have seen in the form of disasters, in the form of storms, in the form of forest fires, in the form of tsunamis, earthquakes. So man has to constantly, and we have two beautiful examples in Hemingway's Old Man in the Sea and Melville's Moby Dick. Man has to constantly struggle against nature. And man has to constantly struggle against society. Society victimizes man. So man has to constantly struggle against society. You have a wonderful plays of Galsworthy and the father of modern drama, Norwegian Henrik Ibsen and Bernard Shaw, and the American Arthur Miller. All of you would have read, postgraduate students most probably would have read Galsworthy's Justice and Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman. Okay, so man becoming a victim of society. So man has to constantly struggle against the onslaught of society. And then man becoming a victim of another man. Okay, so this is where war literature comes into the picture. Very briefly, let me talk about the anti-war literature, how man fights against another man, the conflict between man and man. For example, you must have come across or heard about the anti-war novels. Joseph Heller's Catch-22, Kurt Warner's Slaughterhouse 5, Norman Mailer's The Naked and the Dead, Bellott's Empire of the Sun, Hemingway's For Whom the Bell Tolls, Stephen Crane's The Red Badge of Courage, and Bertolt Brecht's Mother Courage and the Three Children. The last one is a play, the rest of them are novels actually. So these are all anti-war novels. So what is the essence of these plays or novels for that matter? There is no glory in a war. There is no glory in a war. War is merely one man's hatred of another man. Okay, war is futile. The outcome of a war is pain, agony, suffering, and death. Okay, war does not solve any problem at all. But unfortunately, man does not learn from history. The man does not learn from the past. I will come to that later on. So on the one hand, you have war. On the other hand, the consequence of a war is pain, agony, suffering, and death. Any war, for that matter, starting from the first war, the Trojan War, provided it is a historical war, starting from the Trojan War down to the war in Afghanistan, or down to the conflict in North Korea and South Korea, or for example in Palestine and Israel. Okay, so all these wars, the outcome is pain, agony, suffering, and death. War has not solved any problem. And Afghanistan is a classic example. America was there for 20 years. Ultimately, it has to come out now. What problem has it solved? It has not solved any problem. The Taliban have become all the more powerful. Very unfortunate. Okay. Now, the point that you have to understand that war is actually symbolic of man's hatred over another man. War is symbolic of hatred. That's why I said that man becoming a victim of another man. Okay, but whether an Indian soldier dies or a Pakistani soldier dies, basically he's a man. Okay, so war is actually symbolic of hatred. Now remember, to give you a specific example, Bertolt Brecht is a German dramatist, has written a wonderful play called The Mother Courage and the Three Children. Now the background of this play is the 30 Years' War, a war which took place between 1618 and 1648. The war takes place for 30 years. Okay, in the central part of Germany. Even though it is called a religious war between the Protestants and the Catholics. Now remember, there is an economic base behind it. Now, why did they start the war? In 1618, why did they start a war? They started a war to bring about peace. And when did the war come to an end? After half of Germany became uninhabited. After more than 50 million people died in the 30 Years' War. In 1648, in Wolfgang Treaty, the war comes to an end. And the conclusion is that to bring about peace, war has to be stopped. They started the war in 1618, okay, to bring about peace. And after 30 years, after 50 million people died, okay, after many villages and towns were burned to ashes, in 1648, with the Wolfgang Treaty, they stopped the war in order to bring peace. Okay. Now remember, is 30 Years' War a name? It is not a name. 30 Years' War is not a name. In the 12th and 13th and 14th centuries, you talk about the 100 Years' War. Is it a name? It is a war which took place for 100 years. 100 Years' War, you say. 30 Years' War is not a name. It is a war which took place for 30 years. Okay. And as I said, man refuses to learn from history. Man refuses to learn from history. Man refuses to learn from the past. So what happens is that even after 50 million people died in the 30 Years' War, even after knowing that war does not serve any purpose, even after realizing that war is symbolic of hatred, okay, man versus man, one man represents love, the other man represents hatred, war is symbolic of hatred, you still talk about the First World War between 1914 and 1918 and the Second World War between 1939 and 1945. When do you think the First World War and the Second World War should have taken place? The First World War and the Second World War should have taken place in the first century and the second century meaningful. If the First World War had taken place in the first century and if the Second World War had taken place in the second century, we can understand that. But these two wars took place in the 20th century where man considered himself to be highly civilized. Okay, so this is, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
So the point that I'm trying to make is that in the 20th century, you are talking about the First World War and the Second World War. When man considers himself to be highly civilized, all because man refuses to learn from the past. Okay, the conflict between man and the example which I have taken, anti-war literature, it says that hatred is predominant in this world. Okay, at least after the First World War and the Second World War, you know what happened in the Second World War? You know, the two cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, bombs were dropped. Okay, in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, these two bombs were dropped after the Second World War ended. So this is where you should understand about hatred with specific reference to a war. After the war ended, after Hitler was killed, of course, people say that he got into an 8th bunker along with his wife, Eva Braun, and lived there for 8 long years, and he died because of Parkinson's disease and all that. So there is that kind of an interpretation also. Let us not go into that. But then there was no more Hitler in Germany. Mussolini, along with his paramour, both of them were executed. The war had almost come to an end. Okay, but then bombs were dropped in the two cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and for 3 days there was raging fire. 3 days, balls of fire were chasing people to death. And even today, the one child born out of 3 suffers from some dermatological problems in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay, but then yesterday, North Korea tests an intercontinental ballistic missile which crosses 700 miles and falls into the sea, which means it crosses Japan and falls into the sea. At any time, there could be, to counteract South Korea also test fires another intercontinental ballistic missile. Now, see, these are Koreans, brothers. But look, the conflict is between North Korea and South Korea in the name of ideology. Okay, so man's hatred for man, very significant in literature. Now, I emphasize so much on hatred because there is so much of hatred in India today. As students of literature, You must be politically knowledgeable. I'm not saying that you must get onto the street and fight and all that. No, you must become politically knowledgeable. Do not allow reality to pinch you. Do not wait for reality to pinch you. If you do not act, reality will pinch you. Okay, so you must become politically knowledgeable, and you must replace hatred with love. What is the first thing you have to do? What is the first thing you have to do? You have to understand how hatred can ruin civilizations. Okay, this is very, very important. If you don't understand this, if you allow hatred to continue, now I'm not talking about politics, but this is what we see in India today. If hatred continues after 2014 is a turning point. If hatred is not replaced politically in India by love, okay, then India will become, or India will get Talibanized. Okay, so you have, so what should man do? Man should constantly struggle each and every second of his life to win over hatred, to spread love throughout the world, for which you have to fill your mind with love, like Kamal talks about in his film, Unbased Love. Okay, love is God. Okay, so who is God? God is not outside, God is inside. That is the essence of the film. That is the key word or key sentence of the film. God is not outside, God is inside. Okay, so if you fill your mind with love, you can avoid every individual. Fill your mind with love. Every student of literature not only believe in love, believe in love as the motivating force of life, and spread this message to all the people around you. Very, very important. Okay, so keeping this in mind, you should understand that every minute of your life you have to struggle. For me, struggle is the most important human value. That is what you talk about in literature. That's why I talked about conflict. That's why I talked about victimization, bringing in examples from anti-war literature and all that. Okay, so struggle is the essence of life. To get through in IELTS, to get a dream score of 8.5, you have to struggle every second of your life. And you have such a beautiful college. You have such a beautiful forum called Society of Young Poets and Writers, which you can beautifully make use of, and then achieve success in your life, like Gayatri Spivak, who is a Padma Shri awardee for that matter. Okay, and I also want to give you some classic examples, because values, human values, are actually not taught, they are only caught. Human values cannot be taught, it can only be caught. So I just want to give you very quickly some classic examples. Now, in the beginning of my speech, I was talking about LSRW. Okay, and I always consider Helen Keller to be the best example for LSRW. All of you know about Helen Keller. You would have studied Helen Keller in your schools. Now, remember, she's a voracious reader. She has, in a time, read almost all the seminal books that were published during a time. And she's a very great writer. She has written innumerable articles on socialism, on women's issues, on handicapped people, the problems of the handicapped people. Okay, disabled, not handicapped, disabled people. Okay, and she's a voracious reader. Okay, and she is a very great writer, she's a wonderful speaker, a very good orator. Remember, at the age of 75, I think all of you know that she is deaf and blind. She was not born deaf and blind. When she was born in 1880, she could hear, she could speak. Within 6 months, she was able to speak. But while she was 18 months old, she contracted a scarlet fever, and she lost her ability to hear and ability to see. She became deaf and blind. Okay. Now, with the help of the great teacher Anne Sullivan, she came up in life and she became a wonderful orator. And when she was 75 years old, an old lady, a frail old lady who is deaf, who is blind, she traveled from nearly 4,000 miles across Asia and gave innumerable improvised speeches in all the capitals of Asia. That's a very, very, for hours together, she would speak on socialism, she would speak on the problems of women, she would speak on the problems of disabled people, inspiring speeches, inspiring millions of people. So she has 6 honorary doctorates actually. And so you can understand, she's a very good example for reading skill. She's a very good example for writing skill. She's a very good example for the spoken skill. She's also a wonderful example for listening skill also. Now I said that she is deaf. How can she listen? How can she listen? When the great Carnatic musician M.S. Subbulakshmi was asked, M.S. Subbulakshmi, the great Carnatic musician, she has traveled all over the world. Okay, she's a globetrotter actually. She has given concerts in all the capitals of Europe. And when, in one of the interviews, when M.S. Subbulakshmi was asked, which do you consider to be your greatest appreciation in your life? Everybody was anticipating that she will be talking about some chancellor or something like that. M.S. Subbulakshmi said, when an American woman by name Helen Keller told me there is divinity in my music, okay, I was in tears. That I consider to be the greatest appreciation. Listen, we are talking about Carnatic music, and she is talking about an American. Okay, that too, a woman who cannot hear, a woman who is stone deaf. Now, when the people asked her again, how do you say Helen Keller is deaf? How do you say Helen Keller isn't to your music? M.S. Subbulakshmi said, when I started singing, she put the 2 of her fingers on my throat, and from the vibration of the vocal cords, she could understand my music. And after 3 hours, she stood up and with the torrential downpour of tears in her eyes, when she said there is divinity in my music, I was completely carried away. Okay, so if a blind and deaf Helen Keller can become wonderful examples of listening, speaking, and reading and writing, why not you is the question. So what do you need? Imagine the amount of struggle Helen Keller would have gone through throughout her life, right from when she was 18 months old. Okay, and till her death, she was giving speeches all over the world. So life is full of struggles. And this example, of course, all of you would have read already. Okay, so Abraham Lincoln, for that matter, Abraham Lincoln is very significant because he abolished slavery. So that's one of the best presidents of America. At the age of 21, he failed in business. At the age of 22, he failed to get elected. At the age of 24, he failed in business again. At the age of 26, his lady love died. At the age of 27, had a nervous breakdown. At the age of 34, lost a congressional race. At the age of 45, lost a senatorial race. At the age of 47, failed to become the vice president. At the age of 49, again lost a senatorial race. But at the age of 52, he became the president of the United States, the best president of the United States, and the man who created history, proving the fact that individuals can create history. History also creates individuals. But here is a man who created history and proving that the statement that individuals can create history by abolishing slavery. Okay, so this is very, very significant. So look at the amount of struggle Abraham Lincoln would have gone through, facing so many continuous failures in his life. Not ordinary failures, the failures which would break the heart of any person, which would break the soul of any person. Okay, so and you must have all heard about the German musician Fritz Kreisler. Fritz Kreisler is a wonderful musician, a violinist, and in one of the concerts, one young man stood up and asked, if I can play like you, I would be prepared to give my own life. And Kreisler said, I quote, I did. What is the meaning? I sacrificed my whole life to perfect my music. In another concert, Fritz Kreisler was asked, how do you play so well? Are you lucky? Kreisler said, no, I constantly struggle against the odds of life. I practice. If I don't practice for a month, my audience can tell the difference. If I don't practice for a week, my wife can tell the difference. But if I don't practice for a day, I can tell the difference. See, look at the amount of struggle these people have gone through. Now, who is the king of football? Pele. Who is the king of basketball? Magic Johnson. Okay. Now his name is Ervin Johnson, but the way he played basketball, he became Magic Johnson. And Pele is the king of football, but when Pele was young, he was so poor that he was working in a tea shop as a vendor, and he was doing all kinds of menial jobs. He didn't even have money to buy a football, and he played with the stuffed socks. I don't have time to explain. He played with the stuffed socks, and this Pele became the man of the millennium, and even today we call him as the king of football. Magic Johnson was almost a scavenger. He didn't have money to buy a basketball. He didn't have money to join a club and play basketball. But today he is called the king of basketball. And all of you know about Beethoven. People who are interested in music. Beethoven, all of you, a pianist and a wonderful composer of the early 18th century. And the German pianist and composer Beethoven cannot listen to his own music. Beethoven cannot listen to his own music. He was almost deaf. And in order to avoid people knowing that he is deaf, Beethoven pretended to be a malevolent character, a misanthrope. He will not allow people to come near him. He pretended to be highly a short-tempered person. In reality, he wasn't, because he did not want people to know that he was deaf. And in spite of all this, Beethoven decided that he must not die with the music still in him. So what is the lesson? Beethoven struggled. See, one who cannot listen to his own music became the world's legendary composer, wonderful pianist. Okay, and he has composed more than 73 sonatas. I exactly do not remember the number. And he's also a songwriter. And Beethoven believed that he must constantly struggle against the odds of life and bring out the best in him. What is the conclusion? The conclusion is that every individual or every student of the Society of Young Poets and Writers, they have an individual talent, they have an inner potential. Okay, so your duty is to make use of the college, make use of the teachers, make use of this forum called SYPAW, and identify your inner potential and bring out the best in you. Do not die with your inner potential within you. So you should always remember Beethoven. Okay, so do not die with music still in you. You have to bring out all that is inside you. You have to realize your inner potential. That is very, very significant. So struggle is the essence of life. So this is the most important thing that you have to learn. And two other things I just want to talk about very briefly. One is secularism. The other one is as a human value, and plagiarism as a human value. Now, because Society of Young Poets and Writers are not expected to plagiarize. Of course, postgraduate students know about plagiarism because they have a paper on research methodology. So most probably they know it. If you borrow a word or a sentence or an idea from another source without documentation, it is called the plagiarism. You have two kinds of plagiarism: intentional plagiarism and unintentional plagiarism. But whether it is intentional or unintentional, it is plagiarism. Plagiarism is a sin. Plagiarism is almost committing murder. So from this moment onwards, never go for cut and paste. Any assignment which is given to you, make it original. Let it be yours. Let there be hundreds of mistakes. Don't bother. Don't bother. Okay, give it to the teacher and get it corrected. Get it corrected. Right? Put pen to your paper. How to develop your writing skill? Put pen to your paper. That is only technology. That is only technique, I should say. So begin writing. Begin writing. And never ever copy from another source. If at all you have to copy, document the source. Document the source. That is very important. Don't make it your own. Even the ideas, you should not make it your own. Okay, so this is so that's for students of literature. Plagiarism, not plagiarizing, is a very, very important human value. Okay, now, where do you apply this? You apply this in your examination. You apply this in your internal assessment tests, in your cycle tests, in your seminars. Very, very important in your seminars. Okay, so if you in your project work, in your thesis. Okay, so take it very, very seriously, because you have a wonderful forum called Society of Young Poets and Writers, and avoid plagiarism. The third one is secularism. How do you define secularism? Non-intervention of religion in politics. Secularism does not mean that you should become an atheist. No. Secularism only says, in Tamil we say Mada Charbinmai, Samaya Charbinmai. So what is secularism as a human value? Non-interference of religion in politics. You confine religion to yourself. You confine religion to your home. Okay. So what is the opposite of secularism? Opposite of secularism is religious fundamentalism. Secularism stands for love. Religious fundamentalism stands for hatred. You understand why I was talking about anti-war literature, about hatred and all that elaborately. This is the reason. Okay. So remember, as per the Indian Constitution, India is a secular democratic country. But very unfortunately, today, people are talking about the definition of secularism, or people are saying that the definition of secularism, which I gave just now, is pseudo. They say it is pseudo-secularism. Okay, so I would request you that you should believe, you should question yourself, am I secular? Am I secular? When I look at the names of this invitation, I feel really happy. I find people belonging to different religions. See, am I secular? Now, supposing, let us say you are a Hindu and you have a neighbor. And so your friend comes to your home and asks you, who is your neighbor? You make three statements. Okay. One statement of my neighbor is a Hindu. Sorry, my neighbor is a Muslim by name Kader. You are a Hindu. So the question is, who is your neighbor? What is your response? My neighbor is a Muslim by name Kader. Okay, you are a religious fundamentalist without your knowing, maybe. Now, if your response is, my neighbor is Kader, he happens to be a Muslim, you have religious consciousness. The danger of religious consciousness, it is not so dangerous as religious fundamentalism, but the danger of religious consciousness is that at any time it will get flared up. Okay, when a Muslim boy marries a Hindu girl and all that, automatically you will get fired up. But on the other hand, if you say my neighbor is Kader, and if you stop there, you are secular. You are secular. Okay, so this is very, very important. So belief in secularism should start from you. And as I said, in 2014, if hatred should not win, it is in your hands. It is in your hands. It is in the hands of students of literature. You believe it first. You become secular. And talk about secularism to as many people as possible. In your poems, in your writings, whether short stories or novels, whatever you write in this forum, let one of the major theme be secularism. Okay, so if you have not read this play, kindly read Mahesh Dattani's Final Solutions. Mahesh Dattani's Final Solutions, a wonderful classical example. What is this? What is this for a country like India? What is the significance of secularism? Only if there is a communal harmony, there can be political stability, and this will result in economic growth. For a country to grow economically, there should be political stability, and it should not be a political stability brought in by autocratic, dictatorial, totalitarian forces. Okay, that is also important. Okay, so there can be political stability only when there is communal harmony. So if India has to grow economically, you need communal harmony. So secularism is a very, very important human value. Tatani talks about the final solutions, tolerance and respect for other religions, he says. Solutions for the communal disharmony, the solutions, he says, is tolerance and respect for other religions, he says. Okay. And finally, to wind up, I just take 2 minutes. I just want to talk about leadership, the final value that you have to learn, developing leadership qualities. As students of literature, every individual must be a leader. You have to develop leadership qualities. Now, I'm not going to tell you what is the leadership quality. Instead, I'm just going to give you some statements, somewhere around 8 statements very quickly. And then you have to find out whom I am talking about. And then you have to dig out the human values that are embedded in it. 1, in 16 years of power, she did not appoint any of her relatives to a state position. 2, she was never tempted by fashion or lights. 3, she did not buy real estate, cars, yachts, and private jets in spite of being a supreme power for 16 years. She did not allow her loved ones to claim any benefits from the government. And for 16 years, she never changed the style of her wardrobe. In a press conference, a journalist asked her, I quote, we realize that you are wearing the same suit. Don't you have another? Then this woman replied, I am a civil servant, not a model. See, compare all this with our leaders, then you will understand. In another press conference, they asked her, do you have a housemaid cleaning your house, preparing food, etc.? Her response was, no, I have no servants or need them. My husband and I do this work every day at home. Another journalist asked her, who is doing the laundry, you or your husband? She said, I quote, I am fixing the clothes and my husband is the one who runs the washing machine. Finally, last point, 8th point. She lives in a normal apartment like any other citizen. She belongs to one of the richest, economically most powerful countries in the world. She lived in this apartment before being elected the leader of the great rich country. She does not own a single villa, house, or pool, or gardens. She is your model. She must be your model. She will remain a great example of leadership, driven by human values and selfless principles. So instead of giving examples from the past, because they're always talking about Gandhi or Kamarajar, Gandhi, and all that, going back to the past, I just wanted to give you an example from a living person. She is truly your role model. Okay, so you find out who this role model is. And sorry for taking much of your time. I'm a retired teacher, and when you get an opportunity, talk too much. Anyway, I humbly request you to develop, by making use of this forum called the Society of Young Poets and Writers, develop your skills. Okay, by the time you come out of your BA or by the time you come out of your MA, you should become one Srinivasa Sastry. He's called the Silver Tongue Srinivasa Sastry. Okay, so how do you know how Silver Tongue Srinivasa Sastry was appreciated? After one fellow from the audience, after Srinivasa Sastry completed his speech, he stood up and said, there must be a tinge of English blood in your veins. So that's a terrible statement to make. Okay, that must be a tinge of English blood in your veins. So if Srinivasa Sastry coming from Kumbonam could speak like that, okay, could speak like an Englishman, why not you? Okay, so develop your communication skills, develop your human values, contribute to the society in a very big way, and let you all be showered with the charges to blessings on. Yeah, thank you for the wonderful opportunity. Hello? Hello?
Sir, yes, sir. We here.
Hello?
Sir?
Yeah, I'm finished.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We are here. We are here.
It has been an intellectual feast, a journey in itself. Thank you, sir. You have enlightened us not only with the scope of life available for the students of literature, but also made us see life and struggle from a new light. Your thoughts inspire a widening of our horizon. Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable thoughts. We owe you our heartfelt gratitude for having accommodated this program in your busy schedule. We are deeply indebted to you for your regrets towards our department. On behalf of all the participants, the management, the staff, we thank you for this wonderful sharing. Now, I invite Mr. Joseph Javaraj to deliver the vote of thanks.
Warm greetings to everyone gathered here. It makes out a great privilege in this occasion to put forth my words of gratitude and honor. In him everything begun, in him everything moves, and in his immense grace do we trust. With all my heart, more than just words, I thank the Lord Almighty for his presence throughout this event. A good inauguration is a well-laid base towards perfection. With great reverence, I thank our Reverend Father Principal for his unfailing support and encouragement. As of a sword in its sheath doth come thoughts bound in words. As of a spark in the woods do they stir our mind and our soul. With prodigious gratitude, I thank our Honorable Speaker Dr. K. Thanikachalam, retired head of the Department of English, Aditana College, Tiruchendur, for his exhilarating words of great virtue. And sir, we vow to reflect your thoughts and words in action to uplift the human standards through art into enlightenment. It's been a great pleasure to have with us our respected Dr. V.S. Joseph Albert, former head of the Department of English and Deputy Principal. We thank you for your valuable presence, sir. I extend my gratitude towards Dr. B. Xavier Innocent, Deputy Principal, Mr. Twin Anthony Edward, the head of the Department of English, and Dr. S. Veeralakshmi, coordinator of the Department of English, for their constant support and guidance. I feel it to be a great opportunity, and I seize this moment to thank our industrious professors in their untiring effort to impart their wonderful knowledge into the student community. And with your blessings, we hope to have the enthusiasm and determination of yours in serving the mankind for its betterment. I extend our heartfelt gratitude towards Dr. Lizzie Williams and Ms. Priti for organizing this event to illuminate our young minds. I also thank the secretaries of SYPAW, Ms. Shalin Jenifa, Ms. Aishwarya, and Ms. Shamilah. And I cordially thank Ms. Shamilah, Secretary of SYPAW, for designing the visual magazine. Thanks from 2nd BA for designing the invitation for the inaugural ceremony. I also thank Mr. Agnel Vinod from 3rd BA for accompanying the unveiling of the blog with his music. Much thanks to Mr. Bhakya Sridhar from 3rd BA for rendering his support over audio and visuals throughout this inaugural event. I thank all the student volunteers and the participants for extending their hands in serving as pillars to make this event come alive. And I finally thank the gathering for lending your ears towards the melody of knowledge with much patience and respect. Once again, I thank you all for your compassion and kindness. On this extending journey, may the good